So hello, everyone. This is the activity we have to develop for English 5. So this is the agenda we are going to have today. First, we are going to talk about the advantages and disadvantages of social media in children and teenagers. So the first thing we are going to do is introduce ourselves. And then we are going to share our ideas and the topics we think we should discuss. So first is Olga. Hi, Olga.
Hi, my name is Olga Lucia Mayatriana. I am a student of 5th semester in English. Um, I am 35 years old. I am a teacher in basic, in elementary school. No more.
Nice. And then we have Marta Liliana Busquera. Hello, Marta.
Hello, I am Marta Liana Mosquera Pascuas. I am a 5th semester. I am mother.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
So then we have Andres Alvarado.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Andres Leonardo Alvarado Quintero. I am in 5th semester 2, and I'm so glad to be here. Thank you.
Yeah, and then it's myself. I am Marta Mateus. I am in the fifth semester too, as all of you guys. Yeah, it's very nice to have this kind of conversation so we can discuss our ideas, and at the same time we can practice our English. So next one is Julie Adriana Ospina.
Hi everyone, I'm Julia Adriana Ospina. I'm a student of foreign languages. I'm in the 5th semester. Um, Currently, keeper the Portuguese, keeper of Portuguese in an airline company, Avianca. I love the languages and the method to learn languages. And I consider this topic is so important because I have a child or a daughter, and she's teenager. So for this reason, I consider this topic so interesting. Thank you so much.
Okay, so next, yeah. So this is the moment in will Olga will share with us the topics you have. So you can read it and then you can expose your ideas and why you think these topics are important for you.
Okay, thanks. My thesis are that this topic that I like present is the use of social media in excess generate negative influence on the action of teenagers. The first idea is misleading information displayed on social media causes angst, depression, and concern because the teenagers have a distorted idea of people's lives for considering that other person uh, are more successful in their life, and also for more times they present cyberbullying. Other idea is photoshops and filter photos generate negative comparison and low self-esteem. Um, this situation is present because the teenagers and special girls are at a stage in which their personal appearance is very important to them, and these photos make them feel uh, dissatisfied with their beautiful. And the final idea that I consider the successful data people show it in the networks generate in envy and frustration in teenagers. The teenagers are in continued competition for your appearance. Thanks.
Yeah, I agree with all your topics, Lucia. I did see this week this TV show or TV series in which explained how the brain in teenagers work. And it's very interesting to see that it's not just about what they should see or what they shouldn't see, but it's more about it's a physical thing that is happening on that age that is just like just make them not available to really understand what all of these things that social media is sharing with them. So for me, I find very interesting that it's not about moral; it's about physical thing actually. So yeah.
Yes, it's correct. For teenagers, is more important your physical appearance, no more.
Yeah. Well, I don't have teenagers yet. My twins are 8, so yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I totally agree with these topics. I think nobody shows in the social media difficult moments, difficult situation. All the person try to show uh, their best moment, their best travel, and the teenagers and the kids see that and say, "Oh my God, I don't have this kind of life." So think that her life, their lives are totally bad because they don't travel, they don't have all the things that the other people chose. And no, they don't see more, more that that person chose only or just they want to the other people watch and and omit or save their difficult moments and the teenagers teen and grown up thinking that is the life, travel, cars, uh, and so and they suffer anguish, depression, and concern because they don't have this thing, and so it's a fake life that we show in the social media.
Yes, I agree, excuse me, with the different future that the first partner talk about because, for example, I consider that this is the delicate subject because, for example, if you are learning to the teenager about the life, about the personal separation, but the problem, for example, with the influencers, that when the teenager is in the social media, what is the learning? What is the principal idea to the social media? That the influencer is learning to the teenager oh, you can earn your life when you show your body, for example. And for me, this is so bad because this is not the real life. I consider that.
Yeah, I think we are ready for the next slide, Andres. Your turn, Andres.
Okay, thank you. I want to share these two topics. What are the biggest risks of using social networks, and what strategies can parents implement so that their children make appropriate use of social networks? I think that is the whole point about this conversation. What is the biggest risk? I think that are very long list about the risks that the children and the teenagers take when he or she use the social media. uh, from show the address and her habits, her their daily life, their where are studying, where are when with who are when they are alone in the house. So this information is very dangerous and very appreciated for the people that use the social network to take advantage of these things. To uh, there are a commercial from Movistar where is a girl and a boy chatting, and last at the end of the video are two old men that are behind this image, this girl and this boy, and they even see each other in a park, and they say uh, the people that use the social media to do that are so high number that take the risk that encounter each other. So it's very dangerous. All this information that the kids and the girls show, the photos that they publish and they use, any can use this image for everyone. He says he want, and I think that in the school we try to share to teach to the parents what the strategies, because the children are very smart to handle this application. They often has two profiles in social media, so that the parents can see, and the parents and you and another the parents don't have any idea. So I like to learn more what kind of strategies can share with the parents to prevent this kind of situation of risk for the students.
Well, I want to say that I find two things that I have been sharing with the parents that I work with, and also that I use as a mom. I discovered that as parents, we have this concern and we are very worried to fill our kids' time. So if they are doing nothing, it's like as parents, we feel like we are not doing well. So it's better that they use social media or something like that to fill their time, you know? So that is not that is a wrong idea, actually. And the other thing that I find as a mom and as a teacher that I have been seeing with the parents that I work with is that we are afraid that our children will experience boredom. You know, I used I remember when I was a child, and I was like boring because it was nothing to do. I had these great ideas just because I had time to think, to be bored, you know? And so when my kids, that they, of course, they are growing in this social media world, I mean, that is something that is just happening, you know? But with my husband, we try to keep them away for that as much as we can. But when they are in this attitude that they said, Mommy, I'm boring. What can I do? And when they said, Mommy, I'm boring, I said, that's great. That's great. Because it means you will think in something great. So, and they hate that I do that, but it's what I do. It's what I do. And what I find I can share with the parents that I work with. they are listening what I am saying. It's like, wait, Samika, I am recording this, so you can't do that. So I think that is those can be those two things we can share with the parents that we are working with as a teachers.
Yes, I agree with this propose that the teachers are very important in this process because they can support this use and audience that the parents, but it's important that teach to parents for they accompany the children and control the time for the use the social media, use the cell phone, the computer.
Yes, yes. But on the other hand, I consider that the job is not only teacher with the student or with the teenager, is to the parents. But this is a job in circle because the people said that the school is a second family. So because the teenager is more time in the school, so the teenager can share with the teacher many things, and the obligation or the job for the teacher is to share with the parents, to the parents start to work and hard work, because the teenager I consider is a difficult age or difficult situation, because the teenager are living many change in their life. So this is really hard job for the teacher as a parents.
So next slide. Oh, it's my turn. Okay. So I said, when is the perfect time to introduce children or teenagers to social media? And I will say that I think maybe the general answer will be up to 18, which is actually the rule that social media has. If someone wants to go to Facebook or Instagram, they should be up to 18, right? But I think we we should promote more social interaction with human beings instead to be worried about social media. I didn't grow up in the social media world, so actually I find that very boring. I mean, I don't see, I have Facebook and I have Instagram because of one of the courses we did here in UNAT, and they made us open that account. But actually, when I go in and I start to see that, I find it so boring. But it's, of course, because I didn't grow up on that world. But for the kids right now, I see my kids, I see my nieces, and I just can't see if you promote social interaction, real social interaction, you can actually kind of avoid this social media thing. As I said before, I saw this TV show, and they ended the thing with this sentence that I just loved. They said that the front part of the brain in teenagers in teenagers is not ready to understand how the world is working around them. So they said the solution is that parents and adults have to be the front part of their brains while they are developing that part of the brain. So I find that just so beautiful, to understand that our responsibility as parents and as teachers, as professionals, is to bring them social, real interaction with real people, because otherwise they will go with social media very easily. So to say what is the perfect time to introduce a child or a teenager in this social media, I would say it depends. For instance, when I see my Facebook, my kids are looking my Facebook with me, so they already know how it works, and they never, because we can't neither just to try to don't show them the real world, because that's the world that we are living. But yeah, I would say it depends, you know. But as much as we can avoid that, that would be perfect.
I totally agree with your answer, with your opinion, because the teenagers, especially are in this time of the life that the image, the concept is very important. So they see an effect uh, because the partner, the classmate, the friend has more thing, more breast, more bad, more is things like that. So is or more muscle. So is a very confused time of the life, and is the social media are more are make that stage more confusing for them. So is very important to avoid, but that is very difficult to make understand a teenagers. You can do that. You can't have a social media because it's very important in the social life, and is so traumatic for them. Don't have Facebook, don't have Instagram. Is like they don't exist for the partners. So it's a very difficult question, and I think after 18 is the time to start, but the the environment can allow this time. Is very difficult to start at the age. I have a student with 7 years and have Facebook, and the parents have no idea. Is a difficult question. This question that you plan.
Yes, additional, according.
Your mic is off, Julie.
Oh, excuse me, excuse me. I was talking about that according to the scientific studies, they said about the person who act in the social media. Sometimes is the person lonely, alone, is the person that maybe doesn't enjoy the social event, the social encounters. Yes, so this is the importance that, as you can see, the real life, the real encounters, the real meeting, the real relation with the people around the, for example, myself, the life of the teenager is very, very important. The things real.
So next.
And the teacher communication, my opinions, must be clear and establish a rule. A social network can be considered to be a learner tool. We can work together with the family, seeing the as future teacher, more than everything outside of class is where they use team. Social network had become a tool that follows learning. Sure, you can learning attacks basic. They can use it as a setting for Facebook page and Instagram for education, and who follows the post more education.
Yes, yes, that is here. I continue with my feature of the topic. I I said, or I wrote about the feeling of comparison of lives, failures based on the publication of others. You can see, for example, when, because as an adult you can live that. For example, when you enter to the Facebook or Instagram, uh, sometimes you can have a comparison with my life, my um, my I don't know, my objectives, my my reach, my ideas about another ideas to the person or the influencer. Is a similar situation with the teenagers or adolescents because it's the same. It's the same in the social media. Another topic is the addiction that comes from being aware of the people life. This is almost situation that the teenager can be in the social media. I believe that the anxiety is the next, or the finally is the anxiety generated by long periods of consultation in the social networks is another difficult situation, because I consider that the anxiety and the needs for acceptance is complex, because is really difficult with the teenager is in this state, uh, as a parents is difficult situation. And the other problem is when you are a single parent. For example, as I mean, single mother, but is a hard job when you try to help to the teenager to go ahead. But the problem with the social media, but is good when you can learn, for example, the teenager, you can help, or you can show another thing about the life, about the personal separation, about the I forget that the topic, but the importance, I consider that the job of the parents principal is necessary, the job of the parents. And in the other hand, the teacher, yes, because the social media is a good tool. For example, when you want to learn about the different topic, for example, the education is so good, but the content is so delicate when, for example, is pornography, the influencer, about their relationship, um, about the free relationship, because one day is with whatever person, another day is another person. And I think that feelings are so bad for the life in the brain of the teenager. Mm, Another topic is the addiction that come, no, excuse me, the comparison of physical prototype with the current condition. And this is so dangerous too, because, for example, that the learning is you should, or your body should be 60, 90, 60 is false concept about the body, about the your life, yes. And this is um, bad concept about the life and false prototype. For example, I had a problem with my daughter, because she spent more time in the social media, but this situation, she lost the year in the school, and she decided um to leave in that moment, to leave the school. But we were working with her father, and we reached the change in her life. think to the job with the psychology, but this is a terrible situation that I live in my experience with the teenagers in my life.
Okay, I according to the say partner, I read that the blue light that cell phones had produced sleep disorders in the people.
Yes, it is, and the problem is when the teenager or the children uh, have contact with the cell phone, social media too early age. Is very difficult. It's dangerous for them.
Yeah, recently, some days ago, we have an academic event, very important in the school, and in general, all days is allowed the use of cell phone in the school, no problem. But in that moment, we don't allow the use of cell phone, and the behaviors of the guys from of 10th grade and 11th grade are very concerned, because they are looking anxiety signs, they don't stop doing more movement, and take the cell phone, and look, and even don't resist the impulse to turn on, and see anything, even in a short time, but they need this contact with the cell phone, and I said, oh my God, but guys, is very concerns that I looked at in this moment, because you are no, don't focus in the activity, and you are worried about when you can use the cell phone again. So it's very difficult to see that guys don't control herself in this moment of long time, and then can use the cell phone. Is very, and that is the result of the use of this kind of social media, the needed to share, to speak, to chat constantly during the day. So it's very important to make that reflection, but is a big problem ahead, even, and I think that the pandemic increase this type of problems for the education and for their life. Like Julie said, is a familiar problem, is a social problem that is very important to take action soon, to decrease this type of behavior in our students.
There is positive social communication. other cultures, is feeling in the messengers, um, and technology in general for education.
Yeah, so we have our last, I guess, Marta. Your turn, Marta Liliana. So Marta, it's your turn to read the topics and to explain why you put those topics or why you consider those are important things to think about.
It's very important social network for the present and more time voice and things. And the college are to contribute to current education and adapt to classroom. What do you think?
Well, about the topics Marta proposed, are very, very interesting because has have another view for this topic, this our general topic, and I consider that the social network effective can be considered to be learning tools, but is a double problem because I don't know if we are contribute to generate more dependence to social network and at the moment we use as a learning tools. So is a thing that the academia has to study. I think that this topic needs more research about the results at long time. Uh, Absolutely, we can work together with the family. I don't say we can, and I say we must. We have to work together with the families. A work that include teachers, parents, principals, etc., etc. All the school community has to try to work in this kind of topic, and is very concerned, like I said before, the time, the students has for this social interaction, and I think that is more important, this kind of virtual interaction than the real interaction. So it's a very, very important, somebody said before, generate that space of interaction, real interaction. I don't know, a school, the sport school, go to the park, etc., etc. For keep the kids, keep the children away from the social network.
Yeah, I think that the thing we have to do next is to just bring in a minute conclusions about this topic. So I'm gonna start if you don't mind. So I think we have to show your kids that as a teachers and I mean as a members of a society, you know, in any role we are having. Um, we have to teach our kids that what they are looking at social media and in general in television and all of that, it has a process. You know, all that they are looking is that this person was sleeping, for example, and the next scene is that is taking breakfast, and the next scene is that is working, and so and so and so. But they never show that they can be trafficked during the, you know, the way that this person took from the house to the job, for instance, you know. So for instance, we can encourage our kids to do something in real life that make them have an experience process, like music, to play any instruments. This learning languages itself is a good tool too. So also I find, as a mom again and as a teacher, that to have to I find that to be brutal honest can be a good thing. You know, of course, sharing according to the age. But for instance, as parents and as teachers, if our kids are telling us, Mom, this is hard, we have to recognize to them, yes, it is hard. That is reality. You know, sometimes because we want to encourage our kids, we used to say, no worries, you can do it. I mean, it is not as hard as you think. No, and actually it is hard. Life is hard. And I find that to be brutal, cruel, and honest with my kids, it works. You know, when they said, Mommy, it's not fair. Yes, it's not fair. This work is very unfair. Yes, you are right. You know, instead to say, no, don't think that way. You know, things we're gonna be all right. Well, at the end it will, but in the process, life is cruel and very unfair. And we have to show vulnerability too as parents, as professionals, and be brave and ask for help when we need. You know, we have to take off the idea that as an adult we have all the answers. When I have my students, I teach music, and when I am teaching, there are some students that are brilliant and they can play better than me, and I have to be vulnerable and recognize, yeah, you are doing better. I mean, and yeah, I am a human being and I do mistakes too, you know. And definitely, and to end my conclusions, I agree absolutely with Julie said, education is a triangle. You know, we have to find the way to uh, incorporate parents, teachers, and students, and to be enough brave to recognize that we all have a role, but also we are humans beings. So we do have mistakes, and that it's okay because we are the example for our generations. And if we I don't know you guys, but I used to grow when I grow up, I used to think my mom was perfect, that she never made mistakes, you know, but that's not true. So when as a teenager, I was really deal with that idea that I can do mistakes because that was the environment I had. So we have to be example to, and actually to stop sometimes to see how our teenagers are having problems with social media and see ourselves. I just have this conversation with my kids this afternoon, and I said to them, you know, I didn't realize until last night that I am going to bed, and when I go to bed, I am falling asleep watching my cell phone, you know, some videos or whatever, and that's not a good thing to do. So I'm wrong, guys. So I will ask you guys, I said to my kids, help me to remind myself that my cell phone has to be away to my room, my bedroom. You know, and when we show that as an example, they are seeing, okay, that kind of stuff can happen, but also we can kind of rebuild that idea and to just, you know, show that as parents we do mistakes too. That's my conclusion, guys.
Okay, my conclusion about this, Marta, I consider can be two villar tools. In my case, I work and I study all the time with the computer and use the different apps. I I use these apps with my children. I have two children. Um, Teach to play guitar and um, speak in English. I use, for example, app Duolingo. This is very app. Okay, thank you.
Okay, my conclusion with this topic and our meeting, this meeting, is that the social media are a good tools, but we must also to take care the hairs of our adolescent to they they can live in the best life in the world, because the world will be will have many change in the next year. So the best way that you can take the heart of the teenager is to have best relation with their.
Okay, in my case, I want to say that is a big problem that the social networks generate. But as a teacher, as a parents, we have to work as a team and show the children, show the teenagers little action, like for instance, in the break, we don't use the cell phone because I made that kind of action, and we go out and I immediately I have the cell phone in hand and check WhatsApp, etc. So the children comes to me and speak to me and talk with me and 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 I don't pay attention to them because I am in the cell phone, and this kind of little action like put away the cell phone in the breaks when we can interact with our students in another phone uh, uh, can be another form, another way to resolve or to start with a little solution to this kind of a problem. The little action can be the difference. This is my conclusion.
My conclusion is accompanying a student in all the family, social, education, technology, working together. Thank you.
Okay, guys. Well, I think that's all for today. Thank you so much for take the time for being here. And yes, I will stop the recording right now.